So if you've been contacted by someone who's claiming to be a franchise consultant, there are some things you really need to be aware of. Many people have lost everything to this ongoing scheme, and many unethical sellers are earning $100,000 or more in this legal but highly unethical ongoing fraud. So if you're shopping for a franchise, you might see an ad online, or you might just Google best franchise, and you end up on one of those franchise portal sites that advertises hundreds of franchise opportunities. A couple of those opportunities look kind of interesting, so you fill out the form expecting to get information by email directly from the franchise company. What actually happens is the franchise portal sells your name, often multiple times, to multiple buyers. Once you get these phone calls, if you speak to any of them, the super friendly person on the other end, they warm you up and they reveal, or maybe they don't reveal, they are actually a franchise consultant. But the question here is, why do you get so many calls in the first place when you just filled out 2 inquiry forms? Well, the answer lies in the phenomenon of the franchise consulting space. Shady franchise consultants can earn a fortune by gaining your trust and selling you, an inexperienced buyer, bad franchises that pay huge commissions. And this is happening right now across the country every single day. So let's say Joe Parole gets out of jail for fraud, and his first day out, he calls one of those franchise portal websites. And you might think you're inquiring directly to the franchise when you inquire about one of these franchises. But most of these portal websites, they will sell ad space to anyone, even Joe Parole. Now, Joe had previously made a deal with an emerging franchise brand, and he's going to get paid $40,000 for every single franchise that he sells. Now, if Joe Parole's motivated, he might spend a few extra bucks on Instagram or Facebook advertising this incredible franchise opportunity that has a low investment and super high returns. Now, within a few hours of placing that ad, people start calling up Joey Parole. He's sitting in his basement apartment and he's highly motivated to tell a few lies to earn $40,000. Now, Joe, he's got the gift of gab. He's great with people. People trust him when he says things like,
"This franchise is growing really fast. You can't lose on this opportunity. I've got 3 people looking at this same territory, so you might want to hurry up and make a decision."
And Joe Parole, without too much effort, can realistically sell 2 to 3 franchises per month, earning himself over $100,000. Now, you might think nobody falls for these schemes, but we've covered countless franchise scams exactly like this, including Burger M that scammed millions of dollars from over 1,500 people using the exact same tactics before they were finally sued by the FTC. And this was an extreme case. Most franchises and most consultants, they're not so blatant and basically can get away with doing this forever. Now, sellers will claim to you franchising is highly regulated, and that might be true in some areas, but people who sell franchises, not so much. And here's the real kicker. If you try and complain after you've been ripped off or wronged or unjustly feel you've enriched the franchise, you will learn 2 very important things. Number 1, you signed a non-disclosure. And if you publicly mention the franchisor, they are legally allowed to sue you. And number 2, you're going to learn in most cases you signed an integration clause stating that anything or everything the franchisor or their affiliates, like Joey Parole, anything they said to you is null and void, and only what's included in that FDD and franchise agreement counts. So basically, sellers can say anything and pretty much be off the hook legally once you sign. And this really is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of the most blatant, unregulated schemes. There are many other ways franchises can hurt you contractually through one-sided termination clauses, undisclosed personal guarantees, indemnity clauses, liquidated damages, and many, many other one-sided arrangements. Now, the problem is here, there are good franchises and there are a few decent brokers or franchise consultants, but it's hard for buyers to tell the difference. So if you're buying a franchise, just assume everyone is untrustworthy. That's going to be the safest route to take. Check their online reputations and their longevity. How long have they been around? Check their LinkedIn, check online reviews. And if they're saying things like no risk or easy riches, Run away from those. Every single franchise has challenges and risks. You need to know if you're the right person to overcome those. And don't ever be rushed by emotional manipulation or fear of loss. Also, don't be shy about giving hard questions to your consultant or to the franchise. Company financials, failure rates, liquidated damages, marital property laws and obligations in your state. How will that impact you? Now, while some consultants may not be quite as bad or unethical as Joe Parole, many of them don't understand financials or contracts and are basically just a walking, breathing sales brochure for the franchise company. You need to know the risks, the downsides, the pitfalls, as well as the benefits before you invest one single penny. Well, enough ranting for today. Happy holidays, everyone. Wishing you and yours a safe and prosperous 2026.